Joe De Sena here, CEO and founder of Spartan Race and the host of the Spartan Up podcast. I got Brendan Geyer, MLB player. This guy is an animal. Wait till you hear his story. Actually, you could read about his story. We've got this great article. We're going to put the link in. We're going to do something really unique for this podcast. Brendan and I are going to carry our kettlebells. I've got the ancient kettlebell. He's got his little monkey kettlebell. We're going to hold it during the entire podcast. So really, this could be a 1 minute long podcast or we don't know. As soon as the kettlebells go down, the podcast is over. Let's see what happens.
Welcome to the Spartan Up podcast with Joe De Sena, founder and CEO of Spartan Race.
We are talking about overcoming obstacles. The same way we teach people to get over obstacles on the course, we will teach you here on the Spartan Up podcast to get over obstacles in your mind.
What can professional baseball teach us about high performance? Brandon Geyer spent 7 years as a Major League Baseball outfielder. Today, he coaches athletes, and he's trying his hand at Spartan Races. In this episode, he shares how he got to that elite level and his advice for you. This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by FITAID and 511 Tactical. Race dirty, recover clean with FITAID or FITAID Zero Sugar. Visit forthefitaid.com now and sign up to win an amazing grand prize package from FITAID and Spartan, monthly Spartan prize packs, and more. FITAID. Recover as hard as you race. 511, the official plate carrier sponsor of the 2021 U.S. Spartan events. Find out more at 511tactical.com. That's 511tactical.com.
Joe De Sena here, CEO and founder of Spartan and the Spartan Up podcast. I got a great guest today, Brendan Geyer. Can I say ex-MLB player? Previous MLB player?
Perfect.
Previous MLB player. This guy, of all the baseball players, he's special because I think, what were you known for in the MLB?
I would like to think a good player, but probably most likely La Piñata, getting hit by pitches was one of the things I was known for.
So you just got in front of the pitches time after time, and apparently you didn't wear any special gear. Like, you just loved getting hit by baseballs.
I don't know if I loved it, but it was something that I never honestly went up to the plate thinking, okay, if I get down to the count, I'm going to try to get hit. It was just one of those things, man. Pitchers pitch me inside, and I've wired myself throughout my life to not care. And hey, it got me on base. So I looked at it like it's a single. I'm getting on base. The guy behind me can drive me in. That's the way I looked at it. And the pain thing, I know that stuff's just temporary. So I didn't really care too much.
No major injuries?
Nope.
That's awesome. How many pitches did you get hit by?
80 something, I believe. Not counting like the playoffs and stuff. So I don't know the exact number, but it was up there. So I know that takes some luck and everything. But I've tried the gear and all, but I would be up there thinking and I feel it when I was hitting. I feel like the elbow pad and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this isn't it. I don't want to do this. Hitting's hard enough. I'm just get rid of it, screw it, and see what happens.
It's such a tiny percentage of people that make it into professional sports. There's so many kids. I have 4 children. There's so many kids and parents that work their butts off to get their kids good enough to play at a high level, let alone the few that get to play pro. How did you get, were you just naturally unbelievable, or did your parents work their butts off? Tell me how you got there.
No, I wouldn't say I was naturally unbelievable. I always tell a story back in high school. My first 3 years, I don't know if I would say I was average, but I wasn't getting looked at by colleges. So, I went to the University of Virginia, and, the first 3 years I was actually looking to play football. I was a running back and linebacker, going to play football in college. And then going into senior year, although I had struggled in baseball up to that point, I was like, I got more to give. I know my mind is just limiting me. It's not an asset, it's limiting me. So I need to get into it. So a book I read called Heads Up Baseball. I always talk about this book because it literally changed the trajectory of my life. I read it going into senior year, started to be able to handle failure better, be more resilient, like you talked about in your book, have better self-talk, be a better teammate. All that stuff changed going into senior year, and then I went off senior year. That led to scholarship offers from different colleges. So It wasn't, I'd like to say I had good physical gifts, but to make the most of it, I had to get control of my mind, and that literally changed the game going into senior year.
Do you think, that's a really interesting point. Do you think at a high level in high school, kids are pretty much the same, give or take, but it's the space between their ears that makes the difference?
At a high level, possibly, yeah. Especially when you get to college and the big leagues, or in the minor leagues, because there are way more guys who had more physical talent than me. Because you're playing against guys, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Korea, all around the world. These guys have crazy natural talent. But yeah, it's between your ears. What are you thinking? How, the game of baseball has so much built-in failure. So if you're not great at failing, you will not make it to the top. Or if you do, once you get up there and then the talent gap shrinks even more, you're not going to last long up there. So I always like to say it's obviously a 5-tool baseball player. How much power you have, hit for average, good arm, good defense, good speed. Those 5 tools, obviously super important. But the 6th tool, your mindset, or a big league mindset, hands down the most important. Many guys had those 5 tools but didn't ever get to the big leagues because they couldn't handle all the failure, or handle being away from family, or didn't have a good support system, didn't carry themselves the right way, didn't live in integrity with their values, whatever it is. That's what limited them getting to the big leagues. So
somebody said to me this weekend, we were at a big tournament, a wrestling tournament for my boys, who did terrible, by the way. Somebody said to me, a good high school wrestler takes about a month to get over a bad tournament. A good college wrestler takes about a week. A good Olympic wrestler takes about 10 seconds to get over it. And so when you think about the book that you read that changed the trajectory of your life, like, what are the takeaways that we could apply? What could I apply? You got me carrying a kettlebell right now while we do this interview.
Yeah, right here, baby.
What takeaways from that book? What could we apply to our lives really simply that just changed the game?
From that book, it was really about putting yourself in the best position to succeed, and I would think it was all to funnel everything you have, whether it's 60% or whatever you have at that given moment, to the very next pitch. So if you're playing baseball, the next pitch. If you're golfing, your next shot. If you're doing a Spartan race, the next couple feet in front of you, or the next telephone pole in front of you, kind of like what you talked about in Spartan Up. Just thinking, how can you give everything you have? Because how often are we going to be 100%? But your 60 or 70 or 80% can be better than someone else's 90 or 100%. But you have to give, you can't be thinking about that 40% you don't have. That 60% you have, be all in with that, and be ruthlessly all in on the present moment. And whether it's using your breath, self-talk, having really good focus, whatever it is, get to that present moment and be ruthless with it. And that's kind of what I took away the most is, I forget the quote, like, are you so bad that you need everything to go your way, or you need to feel 100% to still have success? And that always stuck with me. It's like, we're not going to feel great all the time. But at the end of the day, it's not how we feel. It's our actions. That's all that matters, no matter what we're doing in life. So actions in the present moment, I think that's everything.
But even if you don't feel well, it's not just actions, it's attitude, right? Like somebody complains about it raining outside and they don't want to go for a run. It's like, it's not the bad weather, it's your attitude.
Attitude. So on this wall, you can't see behind the computer what I like to call signs of success. So just motivational sayings, whatever. One of them is attitude is a decision, right over there. It's so true. Attitude is everything. And the great thing about that, 100% under your control. Controlling the controllables, being where your feet are, that's everything in life and in baseball and literally anything you're doing. So
you can't control the weather. You can't control maybe what's going on the field that day or what the last hour looked like, but you can control your attitude, and then from there you could take action.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the quote is. Your thoughts determine what you want, but your actions determine what you get.
Oh, I like that.
I love that. It's everything. Controlling what you can control is the name of the game. And it's so much easier said than done. Like the kids I'm working with, my company, whether high school, college, professional, or little leaguers. It really always comes down to control what you can control. And they'll hear that and be like, okay, yeah. But then in the moment, when shit hits the fan during the game, an umpire makes a bad call or whatever happens, you know, they don't really do it. It's just like anything else. It's a muscle you have to develop, and it's not just going to come overnight. And you have to have that really good reactive discipline where you have a stimulus, then you have a response. You got to be able to work on building that reactive discipline muscle to step in between that stimulus so you have a more empowered response. And it changes the name of the game, you know, for the rest of the game, for that at bat, for your life at home. I mean, I still struggle with that reactive discipline with my kids. I mean, I have 3 young kids, and you know, at the end of the day, when the willpower is kind of shot, being able to react like that best version of me, I mean, that's a muscle, that's a skill, and that's the kind of discipline, you know, reading your 10 rules for resilience, the discipline breeds responsibility, I think was the chapter. That really hit home, because it's like when it comes to eating, moving, sleeping, things I am relentless with, I can be so disciplined with the best of them with that. But then, you know, how my response with, you know, my kids or my wife late at night, that's a muscle that I'm really still trying to be more consistent with. So I think I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I think that's a huge thing too.
You know what you could do? You could ask your wife. My wife has done it a few times, and it's really a game changer for me, is, hey, I need help with this, right? So if you're humble enough to ask for help, and my wife has said to me, I just need you to say this right now. She had hurt her knee. She was a soccer player. A year or two ago, she hurt her knee. She was all upset at home. I came home, and I'm not very cuddly, so I'm not going to be like, oh, are you okay? And she was like, I just need you to say this right now. Repeat after me. And it takes a strong woman to be able to do, but like we need support from people around us. Even the ancient Spartans, those ancient Spartans that carried kettlebells like the one I have here, this ancient kettlebell. Mm-hmm. They believed that they couldn't be their best. They couldn't be incredible warriors unless they were surrounded by folks that held them accountable, that supported them, that motivated them, that got up in the morning when they didn't want to. And so we need to be big enough men to ask for help and support. And we're humans, right? We're gonna fall off track. We're not gonna always bring our best game. We're gonna try. We're going to write about it in books. We're going to talk about it, but we slip up, and so we need help.
That support system's everything. In a book, when I retired a year and a half ago from playing, I wrote a book called The Fully Equipped Playbook. I think the 8th chapter, I talk about support system. And hold you accountable, be there to pick you up when you're down, because, dude, I cannot tell you throughout my journey of baseball, whether it was my dad, my mom, my wife, whoever, you know, those are the 3 main ones, picked me up when I was down. And then, you know, strength in numbers. I don't think it was a coincidence whenever I came to Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland here to play the Orioles, I always had like my best games. It's like you feed off their strength and that support system, and having that humility, being humble. It's so important. And I know a lot of people don't like to ask for help or anything, but I think it's, you know, as far as being a man, it's a manly thing to do, because you're not trying to act like you have it all figured out, and all that. So yeah, it's huge. Given that,
you've recently found an even better sport called Spartan racing, obstacle racing. You've come out and done an event. How does that compare to baseball?
Spartans, you've seen Joe and his friends training in these vests on the mountains behind his farm. 511 is a global innovator in tactical apparel and footwear and purpose-built gear. That's why they're the official plate carrier sponsor of the 2021 Spartan Honor Series and the Stadium events. Not only that, 511 hosts Spartan workout tour events at select 511 retail stores 30 to 90 days before races hit. This 90-minute bodyweight training session caters to all levels of fitness, so please, anyone can come join. Come for the camaraderie, come for the fitness, but also exclusive giveaways, prizes, and special 511 promotions. You can enter to win 511's TAC Tech plate carrier at selected Spartan Honor Series and Stadium events and workout tour events. Take part in their newest Physical Training Ready Challenge. Put yourself up against other Spartan racers and earn the exclusive 511 Spartan dog tags. It's a lot to keep track of, but it's all great stuff for you. To learn more about 511 and to find a 511 retail store near you, visit 511tactical.com. Why do you race? For the glory? For the honor? For the FITAID? Each ice-cold can of FITAID and FITAID Zero Sugar has ingredients to help your body recover, like BCAAs, glucosamine, turmeric, electrolytes, and omega-3s. FITAID doesn't have artificial flavors or sweeteners. That's why Spartan loves it. In fact, FITAID is at every Spartan race finish line. It's the perfect recovery for your active lifestyle. It's 45 calories, it's non-GMO tested, vegan, paleo-friendly, and certified gluten-free, kosher, and it never contains any artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, or sodium. And now FITAID has a zero sugar option. It's keto-friendly and only 5 calories. It's sweetened with monk fruit and stevia, natural stuff. Can you imagine drinking a soda when you could have this after a race, after the gym, hiking, or biking? That's why FITAID is an official partner of the U.S. Spartan Race Series, right? They're at every finish line. So grab a can at the finish line, but then you're going to want more at home. So head over to drinkfitaid.com and find out about their low-calorie, zero-sugar recovery blends. That's drinkfitaid.com.
I guess you could argue baseball is up there with one of the more mentally tough games out there. I mean, golf arguably maybe a little more mental, but baseball was so mental and physical too, because in the big leagues you're playing 162 games in the regular season, and then if you make playoffs, even more with not many off days. So it's a grind physically and mentally. And I noticed with Spartan, not just the actual race, but the train up for it. What a grind. I mean, that is something I love. I mean, with baseball, it's not like we really need to train long, do endurance training, stuff like that. So that was really the first time I got into endurance training. And honestly, I don't think I did it long enough, because I literally think I broke myself mentally. I broke myself in the first West Virginia race, and we can get into it later. I actually just went and saw a doctor last week because my HRV has been down, my resting heart rate has been up ever since those 2 races. And he's like, dude, you just mentally broke yourself. And and I was told him, all right, that's the new cookie I'm adding to my David Goggins cookie jar right there. I broke myself. Because I forget the quote, Matt Fitzgerald and How Bad Do You Want It or something like that. He wrote a book on Steve, I think it's Prefontaine. And he talks about how like your physical fitness determines where that wall that represents your potential is, where you can get to your limit. Mental fitness determines how close you can get to that wall. So physical fitness, I think I trained for a month, 2 months, super hard once I signed up for the Spartan race. So physically, I wasn't where I needed to be, but I knew I was fine enough. I knew I had the mental fitness, because the mental side of things I've been obsessed with for the longest time. So I knew I'd be good there. So I think I pushed myself basically past that physical wall and struggled and still recovering, but I love it. I mean, that's what I live for, so I don't care about that. But yeah, they're so close, mentally and physically, very similar. Obviously, the skills are a little different.
Was it like baseball? Was the community awesome, Spartan community?
Man, so I didn't know what to expect. During the race, going out there and running, literally from the get-go, I was pushing. So going through like West Virginia, I was catching up to people that went before us, and they're like dapping me up and, smacking me like, great job, man, keep going. And I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting, like, everyone was kind of pushing each other. And then in the Nats Park race, the elite, obviously you're competing, but we're still like, there are a couple guys there, when you hit an obstacle or you do something well, they dap you up. It stood out to me, the love, the positivity, before, during, after. Met some great people, like the guys who I was on the podium with in West Virginia. Got to know them, got to talk to them, connected with them on Instagram. So it's just such a great community. I thought it would be good, but that, is probably a little bit more than I expected. So there's just a bunch of savages, but a bunch of great people that are testing themselves. And really, it's all about love and connection and positivity, and that's what I saw a lot there.
It's amazing to me. I've been doing this 21 years, putting on these events all over the place, and it's amazing to me how people will come out and they want to win and they want to do their best, but they'll give up some time to help somebody else. You know, it's not so cutthroat. And it's kind of a paradox in some way. It just doesn't make sense. Like, everybody's coming out there, they want their best time, but if they got to stop for a moment and help somebody over a wall, you see that more often than not.
A guy who raced the day before was telling me about, he was an old buddy who played baseball with me. He's saying how he was helping some people out, I think in the Beast run or something. So he was saying that. So I got to admit, I didn't do it because my first time out there, I was like, I'm going to win this thing. I told you that I'm going to win. So I was like, you know, and I didn't really see people that necessarily needed help. But now next time out, obviously I'm out there, I'll be helping them. But I wanted to live up to my word that I gave to you, man. So I didn't do it as much, but I definitely saw and noticed that a lot.
But you didn't win.
Not sure. But so when I told you that, I was doing the age group at Nats Park. And if you want to get technical, which I'm not making excuses, I did win my age group, but I raced in the elite group, which I would trade it over and over again. If I wanted to go and be the first to do it, next race I would do age group just to build up my ego. But to push it against the best of the best, I would rather do that and get 9th or whatever place than be first age group any day of the week. So technically I didn't live up to my word, but if we would have gone to the age group, I did win by a couple minutes. So
we did some studies at a local university here in Boston where we took the best soccer players, the best football players, baseball, you name it, and across the board, CrossFitters, across the board, the athleticism and just the engines they have are just, I mean, think about it. Run 5-minute miles up and down a mountain while you're doing 30 obstacles.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So, like, you got your work cut out for you if you want to win one of those elites.
No, I know. I think Robert Killian was ahead by like 4 minutes. So I know if I were to give up what I'm doing now and be all in training, get a specific coach, take my recovery to another level, and literally be 100% committed, non-negotiable, be all in, I think I could make up a ton of time. Whether I would compete with him, I don't know.
How old are you right now?
35.
You got to do it like right now.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm doing what I'm doing. I retired to be around my fam. I don't know about that, but I know deep down in my mind I probably could compete. Whether I beat them or not, who knows? Right. But yeah, they're a different breed. I mean, it's unreal. Like Logan Broadbent, I remember in the elite race at Nats Park, he missed like 2 or 3 obstacles, so he had to do the burpees, and then he still caught up, and I think he finished 2nd or 3rd place. I remember specifically hitting the spear throw, and he missed a little bit in front of me. He's doing burpees as I'm running past him. And then all of a sudden, a minute later, he's passing me. Like, it was like, what the heck, man? Like, these guys can just go all out. And it's that training, man. So they're, like that quote we talked about earlier with Matt Fitzgerald, How Bad Do You Want It book? Their physical limit or physical wall, like where their potential is so far out there. But they also have that mindset where they get so close to that. That's the thing. I think a lot of guys who might have this great endurance who don't do the Spartan races, then if they were to do it, they might not get close to that physical limit because they don't have that mental fitness to get close to it. But the top of the top elite, they have both of them, and that's what makes them who they are.
Give me one thing everybody should do every day to set themselves up for success.
Oh, man, there's so much. I think a good PM routine. I think when you have that PM routine locked in and you specifically sleep, but then doing things to optimize that sleep, whether it's cut out inputs or blue light or not eat too much close to going to bed. I think that's everything, because that's when your great day today started the night before. And if you can really lock in that PM routine, I think that is the first step to get you to feeling good, because that's going to give you the energy, the mindset you need to, and the willpower so that you can do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And you put those actions before the feelings. So I would say lock in that PM routine. It's a good place to start.
I love this saying. I'm going to steal it from you if that's okay. Your great day today started the night before.
Well, you can steal it from me. I stole it from Brian Johnson.
I love it. Because last night I was in bed by 7 p.m. Our power went out in the whole neighborhood. And my friend has a generator. He has a great house, a bunch of kids. And so my wife was like, oh, we could stay at their house. They have a guest bedroom. And I was like, no, I'm going to go stay in our house. But there's no heat and there's cold shower. I said, great, that's where I'm staying. And so me and our little dog roughed it out in our house last night. I was in bed by 7 because there's no lights, no phone, nothing, right? I had no Wi-Fi, I had nothing. It was awesome. And I feel great today.
Yeah, I was about to say, so you must be feeling really good today because your body was used to going to bed. I don't know when you go to bed, but probably an hour or two after that, or whatever it is. Were you able to fall asleep, or do you have a technique to fall asleep if it's way before your usual bedtime?
Well, the night before I came in on a red eye, so I was already a little tired. I take an ice cold shower before bed, which sucks, and then I try not to eat too soon. But because I went to bed so early last night, I had eaten, too close to bed, but the ice cold shower really kicked it in. And then I meditate for literally, I meditate for about 40 seconds and I'm out cold. So it's great.
It's that quick?
That quick.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing right there.
Yeah, I fall asleep on a plane. I can fall asleep standing up. I've always had that gift, probably because I squeeze every ounce out of every day.
That's a big part of it, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anything we didn't cover you want to cover? I was going to say, how could people find your book? How could people find you?
FullyEquippedAthlete.com.
And what are you going to help people do if they find you?
So my company, Fully Equipped Athlete, basically I'm working with athletes of all ages and just going over what I was talking about earlier, the mental side of the game, mental performance. The big thing is, trying to develop that mindset that's conducive to, funneling you to the present moment so you can give all that you have to the very next pitch or whatever it is you do in life. And so that's the name of the game, doing that. And, the very first things I cover with them all the time are how you eat, how you move, how you sleep most importantly, and how you think, meaning your mindset, but just dominating those fundamentals. That's going to put you first, give you that energy and dial in your recovery so you're able to give the rest of all you got. So basically that's it. Just help them develop a mindset that's conducive and help them be the best version of themselves on and off the field. Because not really looking to just develop the best athletes. I want them to, I'm 35 and my pro career is over. So I still have a lot of life to live. And being obsessed with this stuff my whole career is what's kind of made that transition from playing a little more seamless. So not everyone's going to make it to college or the big leagues. So just setting them up, no matter what they're doing in life, for success. I think that's everything. So that's the main mission and goal of it.
All right, you're the man. Let's stay in touch. Whenever you need race entries for any race, just let me know. I can't wait to put you up against the elites everywhere. Are you coming to Abu Dhabi to the championships?
No, I wasn't planning on it. When is that?
December 4th and 5th weekend. If you want to go, it'll be like getting hit with 10 pitches. It's out in the desert.
You say that, I'm in there.
It's out in the desert. It's going to be serious. It's going to be serious.
Is it like a world championships or? Is it
world championships in the empty quarter, which is the middle of nowhere desert.
Wow. Have you guys done that before?
Never.
Dude, that's going to be sick.
Let me know.
Okay.
It's the end of the podcast. Are you guys still holding the kettlebells?
Come on, you're talking to two maniacs here. We're holding the kettlebells.
Let's go.
We got them.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by FITAID and 511 Tactical. Race dirty, recover clean with FITAID or FITAID Zero Sugar. Visit forthefitaid.com now and sign up to win an amazing grand prize package from FITAID and Spartan, monthly Spartan prize packs and more. FITAID, recover as hard as you race. 511, the official plate carrier sponsor of the 2021 U.S. Spartan events. Find out more at 511tactical.com. That's 511tactical.com.